Hello, everyone. I am here to try my best and share what the Moth Portal is all about. I always get a little bit nervous because I'm never too sure what exactly I'm going to say, but I trust that it will just come through when I hit the live button and I start riffing. So you may have seen that I've been sharing some pictures about the Moth Portal, and I want to share a little bit of background as to how this came about at the end of 2022, but I've actually done nothing with it. So after a past life regression session where I found out that my horse Tilly was a camel in a past life and that Lola was my wolf in a past life, I recorded a whole podcast on this. When I was having these past life regression sessions, of which I had 3, I was getting some really profound messages coming through. And the tagline for the Moth Portal is, I find my way, I always find my way, all will be okay. And I was like, this is amazing. And I came up with this idea of the Moth Portal. So you'll see a picture of the wolf, which is Lola in a past life. You'll see a picture of a camel, which is Tilly. There's something to do with feathers, which are my sign. You'll see on the image, it's like one of my most favorite graphics that my designer helped me with. There is an earth and there is 7 lights there. And I know that I have 7 guides in my life, but I haven't quite connected with them. And the one that's second, the brightest one, is the most significant one, but I am yet to connect into that dimension. So for those of you who have been in my space, like you're probably thinking, oh, this is a little bit woo, but this is me. I am very practical. I put a lot of masculine structure behind my work, but I say with masculine structure comes feminine flow. And there is a whole world of energetics that I really feel like that I've always been open to, but I've really sunk into it and really experienced it since about October last year, which is when I would say the Moth Portal came to light. Now, very rarely do I put something out there and then very rarely do I put something out there and leave it hanging. So you've been able to join the waitlist for the Moth Portal for many, many months. And I'm pretty sure that it was around mid-2022. I don't exactly know when I put it out there. But I had to sit on it because then all of a sudden, these messages that I was getting through my past life regression sessions and in spaces of time that I had created, they stopped coming through. And so the Moth Portal was intended to be this space where I would just show up with the messages that came through in the space that I had created, messages that I really felt to share with you. And I guess this is what other people would call transmissions, channeling, downloads. Yeah, there was a little part of me that worried what you would think about me if I talked about this kind of stuff, because I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. But I thought, okay, well, how could I make this valuable? Every month something will come through. Every month I'll go and have a past life regression session and let the downloads come through, and then I'll share them with you. But then they stopped. And I didn't want to put myself under pressure that every month I had to come up with something. And so this is why I wanted to come on and riff about the Moth Portal and what it's about, because a big thing for me in my work, in the art of listening to your body, ever since I started this in 2020, is that everything has come from somewhere else. When I have created the release program or the emotional body training program or the release process and all of these things, and people ask me, where did you learn this? I'm like, well, it's really a culmination of all of my life experience, my clinical experience, and just living life. And when I look back on some of my stuff, I don't know where it's come from, but my gosh, it's helped me guide my life, my clients, and taken this work so much deeper. I've just finished working with some clients for 3 months, but all of them are continuing on. And I was sharing with a friend today who understands this world of energetics, is that I can't even begin to express or explain what has happened in that one-to-one coaching space. That I just don't share it on social media. I can't even put the words behind it. And I often hope that I am able to get these people on my podcast so that you can hear it literally from the horse's mouth. But then I have this side of me that says, well, I don't need to share it. And I trust, because I have been attracting the most amazing stuff in my life in these last handful of months. So whenever I share anything, it's not because it's a strategy, it's not because I think I've got to do it. It never comes from a place of need, but it simply is something that comes from the more space I create, the more creative I get. And I feel like these ideas just start to trickle down really fast, and then I put them out there. So it was really interesting for me with the Moth Portal to put it out there and then all of a sudden go, oh, I don't want to put it out there, but I love the graphics and I am going to trust that this lands. So sometime at the end of 2022, I put it out there. You can join the wait list. You can still join the wait list. And I've been saying to a lot of people that I've been working with that it feels like since October 2022, I really let go of a lot of stuff. I let go of the push energy. I often get people ask me, are you busy? And I'm like, no, I try not to be. Are you hustling? Definitely not. And emotions and energetics of business it's really interesting. So I really feel like I've dropped into what I call the more feminine space, the being space, the experience, the embodiment, which is quite elusive to a lot of people, especially in Western society. We operate more in the masculine way, the doing, the busyness, filling all the gaps, filling all the space. I've prioritized so much time to spend with my horse. I've prioritized having as much space in my diary, in my day, in my weeks, my months, and my years as much as possible. And I was trying to be in that space and being very frustrated at the same time that nothing was coming up, no ideas. I was still ticking along with one-to-one clients, and I'm just in my element when I'm with people, when I'm interacting with them live. But it just felt like everything slowed down a notch. So where are we at now? This is end of May, we're almost June, halfway through 2023. And I have to say, in the last 4 weeks, it's been absolutely crazy. All of the ideas have landed all at once. I often say you'll have a silent patch from me, and then it's like a million things, and I don't want to confuse you because I have like 3 ideas launching in the background in my mind and yet to put it out into the world. So all of a sudden it feels like, oh, I know exactly what the Moth Portal has got to be. Because I love to go deep. In human design, I'm a manifesting generator. I'm a 5-1, which has been really interesting to navigate. But the one in my line, what I've learned is that I love to go deep with people. And so I can answer superficial questions for sure, but what I desire is to attract people into my space that want to go deep. And so I've been creating lots of stuff to serve the people who have already been in my space, in the release course, in emotional body training, and for one-to-one clients. And yet I still feel like I am leaving some people behind. Many of you who are in this free community or on my social media, and I know the stuff resonates with you, and I trust in the timing that when you're ready, it's going to go deeper. But I was like, right, what is this Moth Portal going to look like? How is it going to make sense to people, and what will it be? So what is the Moth Portal going to be that feels good and feels right to share this with you now? It still isn't open, but you can still join the wait list. It's theartoflisteningtoyourbody.com/moth-portal. The page does not have much detail on it because that's all I feel willing to share at the moment. But I'd love you to join the wait list. And what it's going to look like at the moment is I have these live programs, but I have a bunch of evergreen programs as well. Evergreen meaning you can go and access them at any time you want. You get a link sent to you and you can start to consume the lessons, the recordings. So this could be anything from a half an hour masterclass to a multi-day 10 hours of content. And all of the stuff that I deliver is because there's a desire, there's something that just burns within me and I feel called to share it. And in that moment, I have a lot of energy, and I do believe that that's still captured in the recording, and that's still captured in the course. Now, one thing I'm not very good at is actually sharing with you what all of these programs are that you can access so that you don't have to wait for a live program like release, or you don't have to wait for emotional body training. which, you know, they only run once or twice a year. I sometimes get people contacting me in the gap, the space in between, and it's like, oh, can you wait 6 months to like deal with your issues? And I know that's not always possible. But also, it's honoring where you might be on your journey. There's some of you who aren't even aware of this work that I share about how your body is a manifestation of your emotional state, physical, mental, behavioral, energetic, spiritual, everything. And so you're not even aware that there's something like an issue and something that you could do about it. And there's some of you who are very aware of issues and how your body is a manifestation of your emotional state, and you're looking for an answer, you're looking for a solution. And I do believe I have that. And there's some of you who are very aware of the pain or discomfort you're in. You've been looking for solutions. You feel like you've tried all the stuff, and you're still looking. And I'd say those are mostly the people that work with me one-to-one. The people who are in the middle, aware of a discomfort or a pain and looking for a solution, usually come into my groups. And I know that that can feel really stretchy for some of you. And so, again, I trust in the timing when we cross paths, but what the Moth Portal is going to be is access to all of the programs that aren't live and all of the information. So there is a bunch of stuff in there already. There is the Scream micro offer. There's energetic body splits. There's a manifestation portal. I have got the Vision course in there, something that I follow year after year myself, and I believe has allowed me to create the life that I have created. I have stuff for practitioners and business people, the Pivot series, Possibility and Committed. And I think there's more, but I can't remember what they are right now. I am also going to add into there the chakra lessons that are on my release and emotional body training program. Just the lessons. I'm also going to add doshas in time. So if you've been following my social media lately, I've just recently shared a few funny quirks about doshas. This work is really about doshas, is about understanding yourself first and then understanding others. The chakra work is about understanding why and where you manifest symptoms in your body, and also your behavioral or mental state is what emotions is underlying. So I'm continually trying to create awareness, but the depth of my work is actually doing something about it. And the biggest pillar of my work is learn to process your emotions. So the Moth Portal is going to be these programs, the ones that I'm going to add in, the chakras, the doshas. I've also got about 3 other big masterclasses that are in my mind that I've started recording because some stuff hasn't come to fruition yet. But I've got one called Over a Decade in the Making, because I've got some really cool stuff that I'm pretty sure is going to happen in my life, and it's been brewing over the last 4 weeks. And I just realized that everything that I've done over the last decade has led to this point. And I've just had to honor the timing. And I feel like I'm on the cusp at the moment of everything I desired is about to come true. And at the same time, I know that when it lands, that I get to access lots beyond that. I hope that's not too elusive. And from this experience recently, there's another masterclass or mini course of me sharing about the guides that I use, like the physical guides that I use and the guides that I'm yet to access to help me with decision making and how I approach this. So you get an inside view of how do I operate behind the scenes of my life. And I also have another masterclass called The Fast Lane, because when things happen for me, they happen fast, and people are often telling me slow down, but I know that this is how I operate. I also have more of the Pivot series. So the Pivot series is more geared towards practitioners. Sometimes it's also for general business owners. You don't need to be in the same industry as me, a practitioner or a coach. So I have the Pivot series No and the Pivot series Transparent. I've got the names of them. I know that they're going to come to fruition. I've started writing on my post-it notes, but these are the things that are going to be coming and landing into the Moth Portal. So the Moth Portal is really geared for those of you who are curious about my work. Maybe release an EBT is just too much of a leap. One-to-one is just like, holy cow, there's no way I would do that right now. But I still want to share with you. And I have a bunch of stuff that you can get access to that was recorded in the best energy possible, that I believe is going to continue to inspire you and allow you to drop deeper into this work when you're ready. So what I know is that it's going to look like a lower commitment. A lot of the time with my work, I'm big on the commitment because I do know what's available when people can invest in themselves and commit to a longer period of time on this journey, because this journey, this evolution is never ending. But I know that it can sometimes be a block for people. So at this stage, the Moth Portal is going to look like you can join monthly, you can join for 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. Now that might change over time. And when it launches, which I think is going to launch in July 2023, so that's why I want you to join the waitlist, theartoflisteningtobody.com/moth-portal. When it launches, I feel like the price that I'm going to be putting at the Moth Portal is going to be very accessible. It's still going to feel out of reach for some of you, but when you decide to join, whether it be for 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, annually, you will be able to lock that price in for the lifetime of the Moth Portal. And the price is probably going to go up in the following month after it launches, and as more and more programs get added to it. So at the moment, there's about $4,000 worth of programs in there that you can access. As more and more programs get added to this, the price is going to increase. But for the first month, what I feel like I'm going to do, which is why it's taken me so long to share this with you, is that you're going to be able to access it at a really, really low price. It's going to be a recurring sort of membership subscription, and you get to hold that for the lifetime. So if there is $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 or $50,000 worth of courses in there in the next couple of years, in the next 5 years, you'll still be able to secure your founder's price. So I've been sitting on this since July 2022, I think, maybe August. It was sometime mid-2022, the year where I thought it was going to be the best year, and it was my most challenging year. The Moth Portal is going to be where you can access all of my programs, except for the live version of Release and Emotional Body Training. There's a part of me that goes, don't talk about all the things you're not going to get. You're going to get the other pillars that are part of Emotional Body Training and Release. So you're going to learn about the chakras, you're going to learn about the doshas and the lessons. But to go deeper into learning how to process your emotions, which I do cover a little bit in the stuff in the Moth Portal, that's where you take the leap and you come onto one of those live programs. But if you're ready to get started soonish when I launch, then I would love you to join the waitlist, theartoflisteningtobody.com/moth-portal, and you will get emails when I'm in the energy of and when I am ready to drop more information. But it feels really exciting to finally share a little bit more of my world, and hopefully looking at making it more accessible for some of you. Know that I still 100% believe that your growth is in a longer term commitment, but maybe a taster is all you need before you take the leap and honor your timing. So that's what I have to share about the Moth Portal. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I'm more than happy to answer them. I reckon that this is going to launch around July, but you never know. So I'm putting it out there, holding myself accountable. The Moth Portal is coming to fruition in 2023. And I'm happy to have finally shared what it's going to look like. So the Moth Portal, the tagline, the affirmation for you is that I find my way, I always find my way, and all will be okay.